The Create a Championship feature in WWE 2K games has kind of evolved over the years. We've had it taken away from us, we've had it patched back into the last game. We've seen a lot of customization, we've seen some weak customization, but there's still some features and there's some elements to it that are left out that it really needs to get kind of revitalized. It needs to get a real just kind of punch in the face. Today on the show, we're talking about the top key changes that we need for the Create a Championship feature in the next WWE game. That episode is right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Assemble. I'm Matt. Good to see you and good to have you on the show. So, Create a Championship. Yes, it is a feature that we enjoy. I enjoy thoroughly, but I've also found lackluster. Majority of the time, I like looking at the community creations that people put together, giving me that AEW title, give me some New Japan titles in there, let's go, give me some retro titles. And what WWE puts in the games, what 2K puts in their video games, they typically cover like everything. Get the $1 Million Championship, now I can put that into NXT in that universe, that's kind of fun. We get all the WWE titles. As WWE changes their products and they put in new titles themselves into their actual shows, this causes the game to be out of date. Go figure. A wrestling game's out of date. Shocking. Credit goes to Andrew Barrasso, who is a big time supporter of the channel. Andrew, thank you very much for this topic idea because I was noodling about Create a Championship. I want to be able to talk to you guys about this. Here we go. Like I mentioned, community creation is a massive component, massive component. Uploading those titles, seeing what people do and create, all of the work and detail that people go into to actually get this thing accurate blows me away. The talent that people have that I sheerly do not have at all. However, one thing that I think that 2K could do to really up their game when it comes to the community side of things is we could have actual like custom creation tournaments, incentives, challenges that we could do on a weekly basis for this game. As creators in there are producing massive amounts of work, talent into creating all these custom titles, why not put out challenges on weekly challenges or something to be able to upload the very best custom championship? Give fans and community members something to strive for on top of the actual custom creation. They share it with so many people. Maybe if it's for like, hey, if you share this over 500 times or 1,000 times, it gets you some notification or unlock a trophy even to be able to do something like that that's so simple and small. But if you're someone who is hardcore into the creation side of things, I think that a incentive of some sort of award, anything you can do for like the most best reviewed, top rated creations and become in like this top tier bracket. Even if they did in the online community suite where you actually have the creators, top creators, put them in a bucket of like bracket them into top 10 creators. Something like that where 2K is taking notice of the creators when they're building out these custom championships. Another thing that we need back in this game, double title customization. Yes, we've had it before in the past where we can actually have two titles coming into this game where they're holding my custom title and the WWE title, and I loved it. And for some stars, they actually had like a custom entrance for that. I love that I could switch that thing up. Bring that feature back in the game. It needs to be there as standard. They should be even be able to have it now where I put 3 titles on my superstar and be able to come out for an entrance for that, even a generic one. But there's no reason why we cannot have that feature of having double titles back in the game. Let's go make it happen. We talked about live updates in the previous episode. Go check that one out, guys, because we talked about how WWE 2K could actually leverage live update features for this upcoming game, because we have a lot of roster changes and still more roster changes coming at us right now. But one thing that they could implement when it comes to the actual championship side of things is through live update features, update and include the new titles as they release by WWE. If they modify a title like a Universal Championship or something, we have an upcoming draft coming up in the fall on WWE TV. Instead of just leaving it up to creators to have to redo those titles, and yes, they can do that, have 2K put their hands in it and actually put together the new championships as they release. If whatever they do, if they do it on WWE programming when it comes to the titles and they change them up, they physically change them or they add a new one, then let's have those updates built into the game too. You know what other features we need built into the game too? Enhanced graphics and the physics of these titles. My God. I don't know how many times I have turned on 2K20 or previous years and their actual jacket, their attire is bleeding through the titles and it's shifting and it's glitching all over the place. 2K20 is just an entire mess on its own. But we talk about hair physics all the time about how those are just a nightmare and they've never been able to figure that out in a wrestling game. When it comes to the titles themselves, they're constantly an issue where they're glitching in and out of the guy's hand. They can't wear them properly. There's so many problems with the actual physics of the title and how they hold them. Even if you grab a title and you're gonna smack somebody in the head with it, it's never felt good. The only time I ever felt really good about grabbing like a weapon or a title, a championship, to smash somebody with over the head was back in like WCW NWO Revenge or WWF No Mercy, when I felt like I was actually getting some contact and making it feel like it was hitting them hard with it. That's what I want. I want them to feel like they're actually holding that title through the entrance, and if you're going to use it in a match where you're going to be able to grab the title to get DQ'd or anything, I want more and better physics built into this when it comes to the championships. That thing should be actually sitting properly on their shoulder or around their waist. It should not glitch out, and it should not look like it's like cupped out of their hand, sitting in front or behind their hand. It's ridiculous. If they're holding the title up like a weirdo, it should be actually sitting, gripping in their hand. They need to get this right so it looks less like just the big piece of plastic that they're throwing over. Get the physics down correctly because it enhances the entire experience of your game. Now, on that topic of enhancing that experience of the game when it comes to the titles, better animations, not only for the entrance, but your win animations. Get away from the generic ones that we see all the time, whether it comes from the win animations or when it is an actual championship match. Championship matches that we create in Universe Mode, in your Road to WrestleMania, in your exhibition, it doesn't feel like it has any weight to it. You go through an entire Universe Mode, maybe you customize and create this thing the way you want to, and you're invested in it for yourself because you're having fun or you're trying to have the best time you can with 2K20, and you get to WrestleMania and you get to the main event and you're recreating Austin versus Rock. And you get there and you're about to start the match and there's no intensity. It doesn't feel like it matters. It's another match. I understand there's only so much effort and resources you can put into things, but these details, these are the details, and these details matter. Give me something where he's actually holding the belt up in front of the opponent. Have it be a little bit more grand. Have the commentary team do a better job of talking up the actual titles themselves, even when it's going to be a customized title or a regular universe title, regular WWE championship. They need to put more emphasis in that, in my opinion. That will actually grab fans in more because they're looking at those details of how it's being treated. We need to see more that is more tailored to the majority of the roster. That's hard to do. You can't motion capture everybody, but you can certainly do a lot of the top stars, or you can just get creative and actually just try to add in more custom in-ring moments and post-match celebrations. Now, when we did talk about having the double titles, yeah, still on that, we need to have the double title thing work with ladder matches. Drives me nuts when I have a ladder match and I'm putting the title on the line. He doesn't wear it to the ring. Come on. These are little things. And again, it's all in the details of the product. We want to see Seth Rollins come down to the ring wearing his title and then have it raised up, hooked up to the actual strap in the cord and going up, and it's getting ready for a ladder match for the championship. And if it's for double titles, if it's for two titles and you put them on the line, have the commentators talk about both championships some way, somehow. At some point, these are the things that need to be corrected when we look at 2K22. We need to have better details when it comes to being able to grab those championships off a ladder and the post-match celebrations with, yes, we can have them hold up both titles, but if you get into custom matches, they don't always do this. We need to see more of that from ladder matches to steel cage matches, Hell in a Cell matches, grabbing up multiple titles. They need to do this and increase that depth of detail to bring fans back in. And I briefly mentioned unification matches. That's something that I really wish, that's just like a wish list thing. Wish list. It's on a list I have of things that I actually just want to see one day, is that sure, we can create a match where it's going to be both titles on the line, but I really wish that 2K would take things a step further and actually allow us to have, as a stipulation, a unification match. We've seen it on WWE TV so many times over the years. Let me put up both the world title and the universal title. And let me put those things together. And all you have to do is you don't have to then create some other championship out of it right away. Just unify those titles. Because if you're in a universe mode or a GM mode, let me put in the stipulation for a unification match. And then the champion is on both brands. He's got both the titles. And just do it that way. But at least let me put in the stipulation of unification match. I'd love to be able to do an Intercontinental and European title match, 2 out of 3 falls, elimination style. Put all of the gimmicks in there. Let's change it up a little bit when it comes to this, but give me a little bit more, again, depth and feel when it comes to this. And a unification title bout, that would be super fun. And announcers and the commentary team, last point on this list, everybody. Yeah, this is something that we're probably not going to see changed up that much. And specifically the commentary team, they stay pretty generic. They got all of these lines recorded over the years in this giant inventory, and they update some of them so they feel a little bit fresh at the beginning. And then it's just rinse and repeat. And a lot of us just put it on mute because we can't handle the same commentary all the time. Talking about the titles though, I need that the ring announcers actually talk about maybe both titles. If there are 2 titles on the line, I need them to announce the proper title. Period. How many times in 2K20 have we been going down the ring and you got Roman Reigns and he's the Universal Champion and they don't announce him properly going to the ring? They either announce the title, they don't announce him, or vice versa, and it's just a clusterfuck. And then the commentary team. If you're going to have Corey Graves and Michael Cole, assumingly, at the announce booth, Byron Saxton in there too, because they just feel like they need to. If it's title matches, then you got to talk up the champ. You've got to have more lines of dialogue in there. Even if they are generic and you can't talk specifically Roman Reigns, but you know that in the game, if you're doing Universe and he's on a streak or he's been the champ for 6 months or a year or something, maybe be able to just sprinkle in those things and trigger those things in the commentary team so that you can talk up the importance of the title match or how long he's been the champion. But the commentary team needs to do a better job, and 2K needs to do a better job when they have these commentary teams coming out and focusing in on the importance and the value of the title match, and the champion themselves, whether it is Intercontinental, WWE, or Universal, whatever. If they're the champion, that should trigger something within the commentary to actually talk it up a lot more than they already do. Ladies and gentlemen, what is on your list when it comes to custom creation championships in the actual WWE 2K games? What do you want to see? Is there anything that I left out on this list? I enjoyed myself talking about a little bit more WWE 2K. I'm nervous that this thing is getting horribly delayed because of all the releases. Let me know in the comments if you guys want to have another episode talking about all of the most recent releases that we've had out in WWE and that they don't seem to be ending anytime soon. I'm wondering how much this is impacting the next game, and that are we going to see it come out this year? It's going to be kind of a big question mark of what we get at the end when it actually finally does release. But let me know what you all think about custom titles, creations, what's on your wish list. Give me your top 5. Tell me about 5 things that you want to have for WWE custom creations in 2K games, and how would you make it perfect? What's your kind of blue sky scenario? Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'm Matt here on Assemble. Do me a favor, if you enjoyed this video all the way through, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel as we're getting close to 3,000 subscribers. Totally awesome. You guys are amazing. Thank you for supporting the show. And as always, thank you all for assembling with us. See ya.